Long time no see. Alright guys, it's Karrot from KD Comms. It's been too long. Not going to make any excuses. We do want to keep the channel going, but it's been a bit... it's just difficult at the moment to line our schedules up together to get stuff done. So yeah, don't consider the channel dead, just slow at the moment. But we'll try and turn that around. Part of the reason though that we have taken a little bit of a break was one of our shooting locations, or where we have shot a couple of videos in the past, i.e. my room, has been undergoing some drastic changes, and we're about to go and take a look at it now that it's pretty much all done. Apologies for the weird shooting setup. I don't normally do this thing where I carry a camera around in my hand. I don't normally do it this way. I'm always been a tripod person. I like having a proper studio light set up as well. We're not going to have that today. I'm relying on the fact that it's sort of bright out there today to illuminate my room. I do have spotlights in there as well, but they're not going to be the best. You might remember what the room used to look like. I never used to show a lot of it because I was frankly a little embarrassed by it. It was tiny. A tiny little space because it used to have an ensuite bathroom, which has its uses. It came in handy at times, but we've actually installed another ensuite, well, not an ensuite, another smaller bathroom up here on the landing, which made mine kind of overkill. We didn't need three. So we decided let's get rid of it and get a load of space back, and it's so much spicier in there. It's not even like a huge room, but to me it feels immense. It's so much bigger. Now, of course this is still not exactly huge, but so much bigger than what I'm used to. So anyone who doesn't remember, where that wall over there ends here is where the bathroom used to come out to, and it used to stop here. That's where the wardrobe ends. So we've got all that space back, which is why my door can now open correctly, because the bed used to be over on this side, but it was too wide, so the door would only open about that far. I lived like this for a number of years. It's much better now. So this is it. So when putting together this new setup, what I wanted was a gaming room, essentially, sort of a bedroom / gaming room, somewhere where I can enjoy my video games, because I've got a lot of consoles, a lot of games, a lot of movies, and not a lot of space to put them. Now that I've got a load of space back, I can store them away properly, arrange them, organise them, and I have a proper entertainment centre to enjoy them all on, and I'm really quite happy with how the entertainment centre came out, and that's definitely something we'll be taking a extensive look at. Now this wardrobe behind me is about, excuse my poor handycam skills here, it's about the only thing the same from the old room. You guys probably didn't get a good look at this back in the old days. I won't show you my clothes and shit, but in the top shelf is where I keep, so you can see a lot of manga, Zelda manga there, Dragon Ball. I think that's the entire series of Dragon Ball. There you can see Scott Pilgrim. And then there's a load of Zelda walkthroughs there, special editions of. Fucking Jeff's turned up. Where's he gone? Bastard. Get out! You waited until I started filming me fucking video, you twat. Get out. I will get the floppy hand. Floppy hand, where are you? Where are you, little bum? You gone? Waiting for you, Jeff. If you come back, it's like a first-person shooter. Slappers mode. Then over here, this is where the bathroom used to be. That all used to be tiles. That used to be the shower. Bog, which is where I now lay my head at night. Excuse, by the way, the books. I recently discovered the Danganronpa series in the past month or so. I'm absolutely engulfed in Danganronpa right now. I love this new series. Can't get enough of it. I'm currently trying to platinum the 1.2 reload on PS4 at the minute. But I've just been eating up Danganronpa stuff. You can tell. I haven't put them away yet, so excuse those. Also excuse the state of the bed. My dog got on the bed, and yeah, so I'm going to need to change them sheets before tonight. So over here across the top, these bulbs have gone out, by the way. I did try to change them a minute ago, but I don't think we have replacement bulbs for those. Across the top here we have some of my figures. So I've got my amiibo up there. I love those two amiibo, they're so cool. That's a McDonald's toy, I think. You see some more Zelda amiibo. That's my Figma Samus, which I'm going to replace, I think, with the new Prime 3 one that they're bringing out. Star Fox. How's that for classic? A proper Resaurus, 90s Crash Bandicoot figure. Notoriously fragile. Seriously, be very careful if you buy one of these second-hand on eBay. That one has been glued back together. I used to have 3 Crash figures as a kid. They all broke. Notoriously fragile, but really nice detail. Jill Valentine, my Play Art Snake figure. They're very expensive these days. That's from my special edition of MGS5. Grey Fox! Liquid's fallen over in a compromising position. Quiet. Ezio Auditore. And my only pop figure, which someone got for me. I really like that one though, it's cute. I like Alien, favourite film. Master Chief's fallen over. That's a Play Art Master Chief. He fell over as well. And Cortana. And then I got some extras down here. That Golden Snitch, I got that from the London studio tour. We've seen that before, I've done a video on that. Trunks. Lego Vader and Stormtrooper. And my main in Overwatch. Because I play to win. Now these big cabinet things here, these units, they used to be over on the other side of the wall, which I'm not revealing yet. In here I just keep this bottom one, I call it the armory. It's where I keep extra controllers for all my systems. I love this one. This was a present from Vicky and Abby. That is amazing. So shiny. There's all my portable systems. Classic Game Boy, GBA, DS, 3DS, new 3DS I should say, PSP, I think that's a model 3000, and an original model Vita, and that's where I keep the camera, but the camera isn't there because I'm using it now. SP up there as well. I actually got this one after the SP because I use it as a controller for the Game Boy player. And then up here, forgive this one's a mess, but it's where I keep all the extra figures and stuff. Because I haven't decided where I'm putting them all yet, and there's a load of miscellaneous wires, batteries for 3D glasses, things like that. Because I have a 3D TV, Robbie the Rabbit. I love my horror, and Silent Hill is one of the best. Under here, is the movies. Combination of Blu-ray and DVD under here. This is most of my collection, not quite all of it. It is sort of arranged. If you look here, these are all sort of, I mean, as you can see, this is all the horror section at the top here pretty much, because horror is my favourite genre. Can't get enough of it. But it's sort of arranged in age, so it's like Nosferatu is the oldest film I have, and then there's the remake, Shadow of the Vampire, then Dracula from the 30s, and then all the Dracula movies that come after it, and then Frankenstein, I'm hoping you can kind of see the logic to how I've set this up. It makes sense to me and probably no one else. I am hoping to maybe do some videos on certain releases of these movies, because some releases are better than others. For my J horrors here, I love Japanese horror. It's so good. The Eye, which is actually not Japanese, or no, is it Acacia, or how do you pronounce that? I'm not sure. I think they might be Singapore. I think Eye is Singapore? China? Not sure. And then video game movies. I won't go through all of these because I have that many. Disney. I have almost a complete set of Disney movies. Very, very close. But they need to fucking release The Black Cauldron, for God's sake, Disney. It's more embarrassing the way you pretend you never made it. Superhero. Starting with Gotham City serials, that's the one. Batman, Marvel. Mask. I don't have the Son of the Mask on principle. The Crow. Love that movie. You know, my animated superhero stuff. Battle Girls. You're gonna hate my complete Rugrats collection. Danganronpa anime. I think video game is a lot better. Don't just settle for the anime. My complete set of Dragon Ball Z. Yes, I've got the orange bricks. They do the job just fine. All the movies there. Bond. I do have all the Bond movies, but it's in like a special set of leading all the way up to Quantum of Solace. So I do have all the Bonds, but those two weren't in the set, so including Casino Royale, the original, and Never Say Never. TV shows. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think this is quite complete. I don't think I've got everything under here yet, but maybe I'll cover them in more detail. Robbie's falling over. Yeah. So let's close this bugger. Yeah. Moving on. So this here is where I sit to do my, well, film viewing and gaming. And this is my entertainment centre. It's a little bit busy. Let's take a look. So everything is connected to this. This is my Onkyo TX SR333 AV receiver. Everything plugged into this, pretty much everything. Connected to this, I have 5.1 surround speakers. Subwoofer. In center. Everything plugs into that, pretty much. It does 3D, HD, 4K support and stuff. Yeah, I've been quite happy with this, to be fair. I just wish these things weren't so expensive. They do, they're very overpriced, in my opinion. And because I have so many things to plug in, I've had to get a switcher box plugged into the last slot of this. This has 6 inputs. The 6th one has this plugged into it with even more inputs. I'm very surprised actually how little lag is caused by it. Yay! Kuma. My dog is barking. Better shush. My Atari 2600. This is about the only thing I haven't been able to get running on this setup, and I think it's something to do with the the power port at the back. It's really loose. I've never owned one of these before, so I don't really know. Alright, is this supposed to be this loose? It's incredibly loose. I don't know if that's the problem. being as old as it is, you can never tell if these things are turned on when you flick the switch, unless you get a picture. So, yeah. Everything else works though. Master System. Very underrated system. These did quite well actually in the UK. And in Brazil, where they still make these things. Impressive. And I wanted a Model 1 just because I wanted one with a card reader, although it's kind of unreliable. I have two of these big tower things, by the way. Not everything is turned on most of the time. I keep as many of these turned off as possible, just because I have so many things hooked up. NES? Nothing left inside. I actually repaired this myself. When I received this was very hit and miss. Probably had a 10% success rate on playing games. Remarkably easy to fix these. Just take it apart, boil the pin connector, and then put it back in. It works. Super Nintendo. I hunted high and low for one that was reasonably priced and not bright yellow, and I was quite successful. Although I probably shouldn't be keeping it right next to the freaking window, which is why these blinds tend to be closed most of the time. Keeping it safe. I'm going to leave the blinds open though, just because the room goes a horrible yellow colour. N64. Probably one of my least favourite systems in all honesty. It's nothing to do with the games are great, but as a system I have many problems with it. Maybe we'll discuss those at some point. GameCube with Game Boy Player. That's pretty much all I use this for actually, the Game Boy Player, because I have a Wii. This up here, this is where I interchange all of my SCARTs. SCART is the way to go for standard def systems, and being that I live in the UK, it's really easy to just, get hold of SCART leads for pretty much all the systems. Yep. Wii U. Moment of silence for the Wii U. It's a shame, I like the system. I pretty much use it as a glorified Nintendo Wii now. PS1. As a kid I spent hours on this thing. This isn't the one I grew up with, by the way. The one I grew up with unfortunately got damaged. The discs, the thing that spins the discs in the middle. That. A bit chipped off it. We tried to glue a bit back on. Didn't work. So, this is a new one I had to buy. I had to clean it up because it was a little bit dirty. Not too bad though. PS2. Again, this isn't the one I grew up with. I grew up with a chunky, but I like the slim. Mega Drive with a Mega CD underneath. Model 1 Mega CD, just because, with this setup I wouldn't be able to fit Model 2 because they go on the sides. Yeah, this freaking thing though doesn't work. I got like a week out of it and then the fuse, I'm assuming it's the fuse blew, because that's the most common problem with these things. Unfortunately, I don't have the soldering skills necessary to repair it. Apparently it's extremely easy to fix if you can solder, but I can't. So I haven't soldered anything since I was in school. I don't trust myself to do it. The Mega Drive works just fine though. The Sega Saturn. Again, this one works alright so far. I think the battery's dead in it, but the batteries are easy to replace. I just can't be bothered because I don't use it that often. And back there behind you can see where my switcher for component. Dreamcast. This is hooked up via VGA to get the absolute best picture. You can kind of see back there is the, what was it called, the Toro? From the Bahar Brothers, which is a really good VGA switch box, recommended by Adam Karrot, who is a really cool YouTuber. PSVR and Move controllers. That's where I keep that. I really like the PSVR. I really hope they continue to support it. They do keep bringing stuff out for it, but we need more AAA stuff like this instead. PS3, Xbox 360, PS4 Pro, Xbox One. Xbox One X comes out a month and a bit. I will probably be getting one. Only because the Xbox One original doesn't work properly, for me anyway. Again, next to the N64, this is probably one of my least favourite systems. Again, not because of the games, but because I hate the console. There's so much wrong with it. Nintendo Switch. You guys have seen me go through the Nintendo Switch before. Some controllers. 360, PS3. Back there, PS TV. Maybe 3 of you would know what that is. It's a shame. It's a what it does really well. But Sony messed up by cutting some corners, and this horrible whitelist system, which has made most of the games that you'd want to play on this thing unplayable. Such a shame. Great for playing PSP games though, and video games that it will play. Camera for the PS3, just in case I want to use the Move. This here is a Blu-ray player. You might say that this is completely redundant. You'd be mostly right. 3D and everything. The reason I got this is because this is actually cracked to play region free. So I can play any region Blu-ray on this and DVD, which is why I have it. So yeah, I'm no longer bound by the rules of region coding, which is a load of bullshit anyway. The system's only there so that they can charge different amounts in different countries. Something I don't agree with. Xbox One Elite controller, PS4 controller. Back there is the processing unit for the PSVR, and there's my PC. Bog standard mouse and keyboard. Because I don't really game on the PC. I do play some games on it, but not a great deal. And doing my TV. Can you see me in there? The freaking zoom. There we go. There you can see sensor bar for Wii U and Wii, and the camera for PS4, and a webcam, which I very, very rarely use. I don't use Skype or anything that much. These are all hooked up. They all work, like I say, apart from the Atari, which is a shame. These are all hooked up. It's just a matter of switching the right channels, clicking on the right plugs. The other plug tower is over here. My Batarang, because spoiler alert, I am Batman. Yeah, I've set this up to be as convenient as possible, and for the most part I think I was successful. There's a few things that are kind of a pain in the ass to set up, but when it's at a point where it doesn't take a great deal of time to set up the PSVR, I think I'm mostly successful. I pretty much just have to plug that into the processing unit and I'm away, pretty much. There are a few games though where this setup doesn't really help VR wise. I recently played the Paranormal Activity VR game, which is actually quite good, but that really requires you to be standing to get the best experience. Sorry about this horrible light artifact things, lens flare, whatever you call it. I tried to make that work by moving the camera up on that corner and having it face the doorway, and then I sort of stood there, but if I stooped low enough I would go past the point where it could see me. So there was a number of times where I'd go to pick something up off the ground and my hand would just vanish. Kind of annoying. But I'm really chuffed with how this setup turned out. These gaps, by the way, see those silver ones that stick out? We've got a couple of those so that we can saw those down and put those in the bottom ones if I get any more systems. And I'm pretty sure I will, because I will be hoping to get a original Xbox, for example. And now the main event, my collection of games. So, my Atari 2600 games. I have some more that are cart only, but by the way, as a collector I like to try and go boxed and complete wherever I can. So most of these assume are complete. Here's my NES collection. It's kind of small. NES and Super NES is quite a small collection because I got those probably the last systems I bought, apart from Atari. So yeah, the Batman game is amazing. I really like Metroid as well, so I took the plunge and spent a bit more than I probably should have done on Metroid. Master System. I wanted to get a Sega card game, so I got Ghost House. I like my horror games, but my god, that is not much of a horror game. Shinobi is a lot of fun. Yeah, this one's very much like Castlevania. My Super Nintendo set. Like I say, the Nintendo collection is quite small because I've only recently started collecting those. This is boxed and complete. So is this, so is this, so is this, so is that. So is this, so is this. This, you guys might be raising your eyebrow because yeah, Clock Tower never got released in Power Region for Super Nintendo. In fact, there is no official Super Nintendo release of Clock Tower. It only came out on Super Famicom, which basically meant Super Nintendo in Japan only. This is a fan-made box. There is a game in here. It is on cartridge and everything. It runs okay. The gameplay is just fine. There's no instructions or anything, but yeah, I really like the box though. But you can tell as soon as you pick it up and take a good look that it's fan-made. And also, there is somewhere on the back here, there is a typo. Here we are. Adopted but a wealthy recluse named Barrows. Yeah. But I like it. I like it. No one is really going to see that. So that's Super Nintendo. Mega Drive, much bigger. It's all the Sonic games, apart from Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, I don't have that. The Echo games, which I'm awful at. Shinobi, Space Harrier 2, Altered Beast, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe games, Zool! My favourite game growing up as a kid, although not that version because I didn't have a Mega Drive growing up. I had an Amiga, which Zool was one of the most popular games on Amiga. Bubsy, Lost Vikings, Splatterhouse 2, the infamous Dark Castle. The Angry Video Game Nerders pretty much covered that game. All we need to know about that game. Dracula, Batman Returns, Aladdin, a game that I heard many things about. A really good game. Completed on hard mode. And my small Mega CD collection. Recently added Night Trap to that. I want to get Sonic CD. Over here we have N64. Small collection, I know. Mario 64, Ocarina of Time. This was actually, I was really chuffed to find out that I actually had an uncensored copy of Zelda in here. So I get the version with the original Fire Temple music, and Ganondorf coughs up blood instead of green slime. So yeah, that's kind of cool. F-Zero X, Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is one of the rarest, well, one of the rarer, I should say, games on N64, quite expensive. This is the Australian copy, however, as you can tell from the age rating thing on it. It still plays though. Shadow of the Empire. The state of this box is atrocious because I bought this years and years ago and it was pretty much in that state when I bought it. Battle from the Boo, Star Wars Racer, GoldenEye. Here's my Saturn collection. Relatively small, but some good games in here, especially Knights and Panzer Dragoon. Those two are really good. PS1. Wow, this is one of my favourite systems, which is why I have such a big collection of PS1 games. I love the PS1. Crash Bandicoot, Crash 2, Crash 3, Crash Team Racing, Crash Bash, Spyro, Spyro 2, Spyro 3, Rayman, Rayman 2, Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2, 3, 4, 5, Metal Gear Solid Special Missions, Croc 2, Driver 2, Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, Tekken 2, Hogs of War, love that game, Bubsy 3D, Resident Evil Director's Cut. I don't have any more Resident Evil games on PS1, but don't worry, I do have them all, just on a different system. Silent Hill, amazing game, Dino Crisis 2 should be there. Feck's sake, I know what's that. Dickie and Matt like to come along and mess up my my order. There we go. Because they know I get kind of OCD about it. There we go. Dino Crisis 2. Clock Tower, Necronomicon D. not a very good game. Galarians, Ready to Rumble Boxing, one of the few sports games I do have time for. Harry Potter, Star Wars, Episode 1, Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, Demolition, Alien Resurrection, Dragon Ball Final Bout, 2 awful Dragon Ball games. Spider-Man, really good games. Batman and Robin, very ambitious, it's just a shame about the execution. And the Rugrats games. At the back here though I have hidden away, because I ran out of room, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire games. Down here we have GameCube. I really like the GameCube, but it's not the cheapest to collect for actually. Game Boy Player disc, we're taking very good care of this. For God's sake, people stop losing these and getting rid of them, because the Game Boy Player is getting more expensive by the day because people are not looking after the discs. Smash Brothers Melee, Mario Sunshine, Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, the Zelda Collection. I really like Star Fox Adventures, and so does Dickie, but everyone else hates him. It's a shame. Pokemon Laughing Face, Gale of Darkness, Fire Emblem. Really chuffed I picked that up when I did. I got this for like 50 quid, which is expensive, but the last time I saw this it was going for at least 100 in a convention. Very expensive game now. F-Zero GX. Twin Snakes. I have a pretty much complete Metal Gear Solid collection. Sonic Heroes. Here we are. These are all the Resident Evil games. Told you I had them all. Eternal Darkness. Mortal Kombat. The Rogue Leader. Best Star Wars game ever made. Batman Vengeance. I tried this one a little while ago. Dark Tomorrow. Don't waste your time, it's an awful mess. Sega Dreamcast. Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Shuffle. Shenmue 1 and 2. Not the biggest collection. I bought a lot of these systems like all of the same year or so, which meant the actual collections haven't been built up very much yet. PS2, another system I really like, which is why I have so many. All the Crash games at the start, and Spyro, Rayman, bit of Tomb Raider, a bit of Metal Gear, just Sonic, Resident Evil, all my horror games, Silent Hill 2, 3 and 4, all really good. Project Zero, awesome games. These are actually called Fatal Frame in America, that's what you guys probably know as. I think in Japan it's just called Zero. Our title, Project Zero, probably makes the least amount of sense. It's like a mistranslation almost. Star Wars games. More Star Wars games over here. Some Harry Potter games. James Bond games. A shitload of Dragon Ball games. And then Jumanji. My original Xbox collection, which is probably one of the wimpiest I have. I have the Essentials, of course, the first 2 Halo games, the Dead or Alive games, Ninja Gaiden, and the first Fable. Wii. Again, I have mainly the Essentials. Metroid Prime Trilogy. I got that when it came out. I'm glad I did, because again, it's one of those that got quite expensive since. Sonic games. Yeah. Project Zero 2. PS3. I don't have the most amazing PS3 collection because I was mainly a 360 guy. A lot of these are actually HD releases. You know, the Metal Gear. So this is a great collection, by the way. If you've never tried Metal Gear before, this is a really good way to do so. Really good collection. Uncharted, Little Big Planet, Heavy Rain, Beyond, Resistance, Killzone. These are pretty much all HD re-releases of PS2 games. And my Halo collection, yeah, 360 begins. I'm a big Halo guy. Got Gears of War over here, Mass Effect. This was when I was going through my phase of getting limited editions wherever I could. I've kind of grown out of that now. I buy maybe one every now and then. People might have noticed I generally try to keep exclusives near the start of the collection, and then as things get a little bit more multi-plat, that's when I, you know, sort of just... There is a sort of order to all of these, but it only probably makes sense to me. If anyone is able to work out the way I've arranged these, congratulations. Some little horror ones. Lots of horror games. Love my horror. So yeah, and then 360 continues down here. 360 I think is probably my biggest collection. It starts there and then has an entire shelf and then goes down here. Nintendo Wii U. Probably a bigger collection than most Wii U collections, and a lot of people didn't get many games for the system, which is a shame. 05, Bayonetta, Zombie U, and then PS4, Crash Insane Trilogy, which I am very much enjoying. Danganronpa. Love these games. I can't believe how long it's took me to discover these. Have been out since 2010. The V3 comes out in literally like a week. I can't wait. Until Dawn. Doom. I got that recently, really cheap. Resi 7, really good game, especially in VR. I played the whole thing in VR. I couldn't play it any other way, to be fair. Star Wars Battlefront, Alien. And then my Xbox One collection, which is also not huge. Halo Master Chief Collection. Fuck this. This is an awful, awful collection. Not because the games that are on it. The games on it are fantastic, but an awful way they put them together. It didn't work properly for the longest time. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Maybe me and Dickie will do a video one day about how awful that was. Halo 5, Halo Wars 2, Titanfall, Titanfall 2 Rise, Rare Replay, Overwatch, Resi, Revelations 2, Goat Simulator, Goat Simulator and Farming Simulator. Every year a friend of mine called Matt always buys me a shitty game. Those are two of them. And then my Switch collection, which is just 2 games at the moment. And then there's my cart only stuff. We'll look at that in a sec. Down here is my portable stuff in box. Zelda DX, Tetris DX, Metal Gear, Ghost Babel, 007, Metroid Zero Mission, the Sonic Advance game, Sonic Battle, the Crash GBA games, one of the Spyro ones, Star Wars Fight the Falcon, my DS collection. Nothing particularly rare in here. Nothing I'm aware of anyway. 3DS. I am going to get Fire Emblem Fates. I managed to get the special edition of that. That was quite rare. Not here at the moment is Metroid Samus Returns. I'm picking that up surely because I'm going to play that when I go away on holiday. Gotta do something on the plane. My PSP collection, which is about half Metal Gear games. Peace Walker is a fucking amazing game. One of the best portable games I've ever played. So good. And then my wimpy little Vita collection. And the biggest crime of all is that none of these 4 games I have will work on the PS TV. Fuck you, Sony, and your bastard blacklist. You could have just taken the time to... I'm going to start ranting if I don't. Yeah, nip that in the bud right there. I am going to get Persona 4 the Golden though for Vita, so that will play on TV, I'm sure. And then here we have a big box N64 game that won't fit on the shelf, and then these two. I mentioned earlier that Zool was one of my favourite games growing up. These are the Amiga versions of Zool and Zool 2, and these were the games that were like my absolute favourites as a kid. So they get pride of place, they get put on proper display. I love the Zool games. So, I mean, I'm careful about saying they're really, really good, because I know people who play them today will not get it because they haven't aged the best, and honestly they're way too difficult. I never got very far in these games, but they were so addictive. I mean, old school, I shouldn't be able to use it. Yeah, back when they were on floppy disk, 2 floppy disks, and that wheel was its copyright protection. Yeah, you were given like a freaking picture and you had to make the picture on the wheel, and then these windows would reveal a number and you had to type the number in and the game would begin. My copy of Zool 2 didn't come with the freaking wheel, so if I did get an Amiga, which I hope to do maybe someday, because my old Amiga has long since died. We got rid of that when I was very, very little. It's a shame. I wouldn't be able to play it until I got a copyright wheel. Just a quick look at here. Zool 1. I can't look at Zool 2. Zool 2 is the better game, to be fair. But Zool 2, unfortunately, most people never played because it only came out on Amiga and Atari Jaguar, which is another system that people generally didn't buy. There's a really cool retro shop in Lincoln called Gotham Games, and every time I go there, I don't live that close, but a friend of mine lives up there, so when I go and visit her, we always go and have a look in there. They've got an Atari Jaguar in there, they've had it there for the past like couple of months. I keep umming and ahhing, but I really shouldn't. Floppy is. Zoom, one of the characters in it. Wow, you used to get all kinds of crap in these big box games. Stickers, little pin badge. I think this is a poster. I won't open it out. What's this? A little advert from Gremlin Games. I wonder what happened to Gremlin Games. I've never actually looked. Wow. I do have the poster for Zool 1, but I used to have it up. You guys might recall in some old videos the Zool poster that used to be on the wall. So I used to have it. I do still have it, I put it somewhere for now. Just because I don't really have anywhere to put posters. I kinda don't want to put posters up now, I feel like I'm past that point. I feel like I've outgrown posters. And then up here we have cart only, as I said earlier. My cart only Game Boy games include the original Metroid 2, Return of Samus, Pokemon Red. This is the original cart I had growing up as a kid. So this still has all my old Pokemon, all my very badly trained Pokemon, because I didn't fully understand the game at this point. I got as far as Victory Road and I think I kind of hit a wall. Looney Tunes, a surprisingly fun little game, Looney Tunes on Game Boy. James Bond 007, one of those ambitious but not so well executed games. Tennis, which I got when I was a kid, kind of fun actually. Speedy Gonzales, incredibly difficult game this, shouldn't be marketed towards kids. Speedy Gonzales is one of my favourite Looney Tunes, that's why I saw it as a kid. I think it used to be a beta. This is actually the result of a failed Sonic beta, I think, on Game Boy that never ended up happening. I'm surprised there even was a beta for it, considering Game Gear, but it depends when Game Gear came out. And then there's this collection of... ooh, it's covered in crap. There we go. Kind of like a Game & Watch collection, that one. Let's stack all these back up. I did have Pokemon Yellow as well, but that got given away because I was stupid. Let's look at the N64 cart only. Violet Wars, which, you know, should really be in there. Pokemon Stadium. Don't have the box to this. This was one I bought when I first got the N64. Rogue Squadron. I have the box to this somewhere and I can't fucking find it, and it's really bugging me. Really annoying me. I have the box and everything. Where did I put it though? But yeah, this is a fun little game. I used to play this on PC, actually. And then Pokemon Snap. This was one that got sold to me super cheap because it didn't work. And then of course I just ran some window cleaner on the contacts and now it looks okay. That's what I love about old cartridge systems. Repairs are easy to do. Game Boy Advance cart only up here. was Flight of the Falcon. I have the box to that over there, so I don't know why these aren't in the box. I don't know why it's not in this box. Sonic Battle. I think some of these I just didn't bother putting away. Sonic. Oh yeah. I don't really need these anymore. But when I didn't have a lot of money, I used to buy the combo packs with all multiple games on them. Like Sonic Pinball Party on that one. Dragon Ball Taiketsu. Ooh, I think I have the box to this still somewhere, but this is an awful game. Don't waste your time on that one. This, on the other hand, is a great little Dragon Ball game for the Game Boy. Legacy of Goku 2. Great game. And then Metroid Fusion. Yeah, I don't think I did have the box for this one. Where's all this hair coming from? My dog's molting at the minute, I think is what it is. And just a couple of Atari 2600 games. I haven't really been able to try them because the fecking console ain't working. That's what I get for buying it at a convention, I guess. I hate trying to stack Game Boy Advance games up because they are not really designed to be stacked this way. And I'm not sure what else I can really show you. That's the room tour complete. I did kind of collection video there as well, didn't I? Rolled into one. Ow, my leg! Okay. That's a Christmas present I got from my sister. She made that for me. And yeah, that's about it for now. Like I say, we haven't given up on the channel, it's just been slow. Meeting up has been more and more difficult. Despite the fact we live closer now, it's just scheduling. Again, sorry about the weird handycam stuff. I don't normally do this. It's a bit too vloggy for me. It's kind of what this is though, it's a bit of a vlog, isn't it? Yeah. We can keep it close. There we go. I had the house to myself for today and wanted to shoot something. I couldn't really... I knew I wouldn't be able to get a proper video all done in one day, so I thought I'll just shoot something quick and easy. Just to keep some activity going on the channel. Yeah, I've just realised I left a couple of Pringles up here as well. Guilty as charged. If there's anything specific you'd like us to do, it's not like we're completely out of ideas. We have some ideas. We have an Overwatch related video we would like to do. And we are also working on some bigger projects. There's also one that we have like sort of mock-up for. It's not something we've done really in the past. We don't know how it's going to be received, and we know that I think the sense of humour might be a little bit too specific to me and Dickie for other people to get it, but I guess we won't know unless we throw it out there, and Abby is insisting that we should just put it out there and see how it goes. So I might do that. It's Harry Potter related. Thank you, by the way, to the couple of people who have subscribed since we disappeared. I noticed the number went up to 68 and it didn't used to be that high. It used to be a little bit lower than that. We lost a couple of people as well along the way, but that's our fault. And to those of you who stayed subbed and do occasionally still watch our stuff, epic. Thank you so very, very much. Hopefully Dick will be in the next video. I know he appears less and less in these videos, but he's a busy man. Speaking of Dickie and Abby, they went on holiday recently to Italy. I'm going to Italy myself actually in a couple of weeks. And yeah, big news on that front. They're engaged. Which is awesome news. They got engaged on the last day of the holiday on the Rialto Bridge in Venice, I'm sure is where he proposed. And that's big news. So if they go back to streaming, because they were streaming for a little while on the That Gaming Couple channel. If they do go back to streaming, make sure you go on there and give them a big congratulations, because they deserve it. I think that's about all I want to say today. Yeah. If I'm good, I'll spend the rest of the day working on the other stuff. If I'm good. I should have thought of an ending, shouldn't I?